Hello beautiful, welcome back to Nat's Beautiful Life. Today I'm going to be doing my February book roundup. I read 5 books in the month of February and I'm just going to do a quick little talk through of what they were, and if I like them or not I'll put pictures up here because I believe I got all of them from the library. So yeah, alright. So the first book that I actually had started in January, finished in February, was The Opposite of Everyone by Joshilyn Jackson. It's spelled like Joshilyn, so I don't know if it's Jocelyn or Joshilyn. I think I've had this discussion before. But anyway, so with that particular book, you have the main character is Paula, and she is a lawyer, and she's really has trouble making attachments, and she's kind of like thinking back and forth throughout the book about her life with her mom, who was very hippie, very into Asian influences and things like that, and very much into like Hindu gods and goddesses, and she would also tell these stories to Paula growing up. In fact, yeah, so I don't want to give too much away because there's a lot that goes with the book as far as like, you know, you find things out along the way. But as it turns out, another child out of the blue shows up to Paula's firm and is like, I'm your brother, or, you know, I'm looking for this woman, she's my mom. Turns out she's like, well, that's my mom. And then things start to click and make sense that happened back when she was younger. So anyway, then they find out some other things and they go through this whole story together. So I like the book. It was different. And I like different things because after a while you get kind of tired of the same cookie cutter little, you know, books and premises and stuff. But this one was a little different and the stories were interesting. So I really like that book and I look forward to reading more from that particular author. The next book I have that I read was The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. I read The Cruel Prince in January, fell in love with it, and I was really excited to read some more things by Holly Black. And so I had heard that this took place in kind of the same world. It does and it doesn't. It is not the same. I can't say that it's a bad book. It's very well written. The story is good. I don't know if it was exactly my cup of tea because, like I said, it was much darker than The Cruel Prince. Much darker. But yeah, pretty good. If you are scared at things, I don't recommend you pick this book up. Like, it's not super scary, but it's creepy. But once again, Holly Black, she's just an amazing writer. So I'm on the fence. Like, it was very well written, really good story, but just not for me. So if you like creepy, scary things that are fantasy based, then you will like this. And the premise was cool because we basically were in the human world that knew about the, you know, fairy world. And we're not talking like Disney fairies. We're talking like, you know, Rumpelstiltskin fairies, you know, like, yeah. So it's an interesting story. And like I said, if you like that sort of thing, you'll like it. It's very well done. The Night Circus by Erin Morganstein. I was so pumped to read this, and it took me forever to finally get the chance to do that. I was expecting something more along the lines of Caraval, which honestly the writing of The Night Circus blows Caraval out of the water. But Caraval, like that type of setup and stuff, was kind of what I was expecting. The story is good. The ending, the only thing is there's a lot of magic and dark magic, and you know, if you're not into that type of scene, then you're not gonna enjoy this book. The story itself was great. Like I said, the writing was amazing, but there's some things like they were very into like reading the futures and things like that. So once again, on the fence, not really my cup of tea, but if you enjoy those types of magic systems and things like that, and there's some really like shady stuff going on, but if you, like I said, if that's your cup of tea, you will love this book because it is very well written, but once again, not really my thing. But yeah. Moving on to How to Be a Bawse. That's the only way I can say it, because the way it is, it's just, you can't just say How to Be a Boss. It's How to Be a Bawse by Lilly Singh. And it's a guide to conquering life. I think I mentioned this in my favorites video, how when I first started reading, there's 3 or 4 different sections to the book. And when I first started reading that first section, I was like, okay, this is just like a great starter book for someone who's just getting into business or self-improvement or something like that. But as it continued, it really just was very helpful and very awesome, very encouraging, and I really, really enjoyed it. And just her stories about things that she did and things that happened, and her focus and her mindset and all of that was really great. And I recommend this book to anybody, even if you don't own a business or into business, even if you're, a teenager, still in high school or whatever. This is a good book. This is a very good book, just about life in general and all of that. So I highly, highly recommend this book. I got it from the library, but I feel like I'm going to purchase it so I can revisit it, because it was something that when I read that in the morning, I was like pumped for my day just to get busy and to get to work. So I did really, really enjoy that. That's 4, right? All right, number 5 was Finding Audrey by Sophia Kinsella. This is a reread for me. I read this book in 2017 or 2016, one of those. I read it, I think it was last year, but it was one of my favorite books of the year. I do remember that. This was our book club choice for the month, so I wanted to take the time and just enjoy it and read it. I did not have time for that, so I did a quick speed read in 2 hours of that thing and made notes, and once again fell in love with it. I cannot recommend that book enough. It's so good, and there's just so many facets to it. It's basically about Audrey is the main character, but honestly it's her whole family is the main character. And, it focuses on her as your point of reference, but just the mom and the dad dealing with the brother, and there's a little brother, and then there's a friend, and she's got severe anxiety, and just the way it has affected the whole family, and then it's just your typical kooky, crazy family, and you would just fall in love with them. So those are my 5 books that I read this month. I think I had some good stuff this month. I don't think there was anything that I could say, well, this is a crappy book. No. Just some things weren't really my particular genre, but they were all very well written, very all well done. So, yeah. What have you guys read this month? Put it down in the description box below and let me know, and maybe I would like to pick some of those up myself. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, once again, comments below, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Have a great day, gorgeous.